Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Detroit Sports Sit Down. My name is Tom Murphy Jr. I'm with Dan Murphy and Joe Perry, and I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel right now. I'm mad. I'm very, very mad that the Lions did not show up on Sunday, and once again, we get kicked right in the teeth, us Lions fans. And man, oh man, it's so frustrating to see your favorite football team go out and play so good the week prior and then come home in a big mid-season NFL football game. Your team is right in the thick of things, and you just get kicked right in the mouth. So you get past that because the Packers also lost. The Packers also lost, and Minnesota also lost. The Bears won again. Everything is real close, and the NFC North is looking like it's going to be a battle to the end for this division because all four teams are in it.
Not in a good way.
And yeah, but then you find out today that Golden Tate has been shipped out for a draft pick. Now, mind you, when I was hearing the rumors, things were starting to float around yesterday. And rumors were Lions looking for a mid-round pick, shopping Golden Tate. And I'm like, it makes sense, but they better not take a fourth. You know, it better be better than a fourth-round pick. And I would be okay with it because the whole situation, and we're going to get into that whole situation. There you have it, folks. The life of a Lions fan. This whole season has been a synopsis of life of a Lions fan. So excited, Monday Night Football. You're at home. You should murder the Jets. Start off with a pick six. Everything's looking great, and then just bam, you get smoked. And then you go out and lose to San Francisco, and everybody's just, oh man, this seems terrible. And then, New England comes to town, and oh my God, we're so good. We're gonna be good. Things are turning around. Fast forward to this moment right now. I'll start with you, Dan. Where are you at right now? Where you stand at this moment as a lifelong diehard Lions fan? The highs and lows of just the past couple weeks now, and to the moment right now where Golden Tate is traded for a third-round pick. So the team is worse today. But the future, but a third-round pick, that's a good pickup. So the future is a move for the future. But did the Lions throw in the towel for the season?
This might end up just being a Lions podcast because there's a lot to digest with all this since the last time we talked. And we hours after we had our podcast last week, they went and traded for Snacks Harrison, and at that point,
what a high!
And everybody was so excited.
At that point, they're like, "This is unbelievable!
We're going to win the division.
This is totally different than anything we've ever seen from the Lions.
Who are we going to play at home in the playoffs?"
They just had a road win against a good Miami Dolphins team where they ran for almost 250 yards, something we've never seen.
Oh my God!
And then they go out and make this blockbuster trade to get Snacks Harrison, the guy they really, really needed to help stop the run game.
For a fifth-round pick.
Their biggest weakness was stopping the run. They get one of the best run stuffers in all of the NFL for the last 4 or 5 years consistently. Never gets hurt. Had like 85, 86 game start streak. It's like the perfect guy to get. You're like, this is a whole new culture. This is a whole new team. This is the Patriot way. They're going to be the Patriots now. This is awesome. And then all of a sudden you go into the Seattle game. You're thinking everybody's riding high. Like this is a whole new team. It's a whole new franchise. And then the other shoe drops.
Well, what do they do, though? They start off the game with a beautiful
91-yard drive.
Oh, man. Everything was just perfect. Big run, the big catch, the touchdown, just boom, boom, boom. You're like, all right, here we go, man. Here we go. Seattle, man, we're about to show you where this is us, man. We're about to take this division over, about to roll over Seattle, a solid, respectable team. And, man, it's all
it's a
fell
roller
apart,
coaster,
man.
and all I can say is SOL. I mean, how else can you describe it? You do the exact opposite of what everybody thinks every week. It's a roller coaster. It's crazy to me. Like
that's why I say never
I did
bet
pick
on the Lions,
though.
man.
I really did think Russell Wilson was too much for them, and he was. But they have to win that game in order to be a good team. You got to win that type of game right there.
And then,
you know what I'm saying? Because they're not that much better than them. The Seahawks aren't that much better. They have a better coach too. That was the other thing, but they're not that much of a better team.
But the thing is, they couldn't stop the run. Even with Snacks Harrison playing one of his best games of his career. In the first game with the Lions, had 7 tackles, a couple tackles for loss. He even had a sack, which isn't in the norm of what he does.
Especially against Russell Wood, because nobody else could get him, man.
And he still couldn't stop the run against a team that's not really known for really running the ball at this point.
Yeah, it's they're running back by committee. They don't have any stars in the backfield. You know, there's no
remember
Zeke Elliott or Kareem Hunt or nobody like that, man. Like
with Snacks in, it was 3.2 yards a carry they were averaging. Seattle, and with them out, it was 5 yards. And I know he can't play every down, but I mean, it shows how big that he did help.
Yeah. But it just goes to show you how bad the rest of the rush defense
exactly.
is.
Yeah.
So now, all right, I want to play the other side of this coin, though. And this is still about the game. You see some of these touchdowns, some of these catches. I mean, there was a couple third down completions for first downs that should have been overturned. Again, the catch rule is still so sketchy and so all over the place, man. They're trying to soften it up to make things that you think are a catch, but now it gets getting a little murky, man, to say the least. Because there was a few plays where if the bounces and the challenges go the Lions' way, I mean, you had a couple touchdowns go off of people's heads, man. Yeah, you know, there was bounces that just went Seattle's way, but a lot of that just. You got to be good to be lucky and lucky to be good. And Seattle was just all around in every facet of the game better than the Lions, and they also got the breaks. Because when you look at 28-14, and they had a chance they were always in contention in this game until something terrible happened. Especially at the point where Amir Abdullah, man, what's this guy still doing on this team? What's he still doing on this field? Everybody knows that guy's a fumble waiting to happen.
Yeah, we should trade him, Tom.
We'll give you our 7th round pick if you take Amir Abdullah.
Yeah,
is that the deal?
I would actually take that.
Yeah.
If I definitely would.
Man, because seriously, guys, why is he? I know Agnew, that was huge, and Agnew getting hurt.
Yeah, no, that hurts.
Why is Amir Abdullah still on this football team? Why is Amir Abdullah still in the NFL?
I have no idea.
That's a good
question. I wanted
question.
him cut last off season.
Yeah,
or last preseason. And then definitely wanted him cut in this preseason.
Yeah, this season I didn't think he was going to make it.
We thought for sure he was going to.
Yeah, what did he do? The first thing he did in the first preseason game was fumble the ball.
Yeah. I know. And then he's not getting any carries, not getting any looks on offense. So they put him on kick return. He barely has any touches, and he still finds a way to fumble
in a crucial part of the game.
Yeah, he touches the ball like 2-3 times and he fumbles.
So what is it like? Because the guy, man, I go back to it, man. I watched the kid play in Nebraska, and he was awesome.
Bigger guys.
He's had little sparks, throughout his tenure here. But at this point, man, when he fumbled that football, dude, I was like, just cut him right now. like tell him, take his helmet, take his pads, and just have a security guard exit him out the damn building. And
he still was on kick return after that.
Yeah, what? But I mean that's just one part of it right now. But man, okay.
I still understand why they didn't run the ball the rest of the game. Like I said earlier, they ran the ball 6 times the first drive and 7 the rest of the game. I know it's not like it was way out of hand.
I know, man.
You couldn't run the ball.
I'm not sure of the exact stats, but I think Carry-On
had 8 carries for 22 yards.
Yeah, and how many receptions did he have?
He actually, he had a really good receiving.
I feel like he may have had more receptions.
6 receptions. 69 yards.
69 yards, yeah.
Well, a lot of those catches and yards were kind of garbage yards.
Yeah.
But I mean, he still looked good. At the end, and it goes back to we saw last game. He got over 20 touches. Went well over 100 total yards. I think he had 180 total yards, over 150 rushing yards. And then he come into this game, and he only had 8 rushes. I know he had those 6. How many catches was it, Joe?
6 catches.
6 catches, but most of those were garbage.
A lot of
you got to give him. He's got to get close to 20 touches, or else his team's not going to be successful.
A lot of it too, though, was Seattle was just dominating the offense. The defense just couldn't even get off the field. So a lot of time was going by, and they had to go to more of a passing attack because, I don't know, man. Like, he's got to get his touches. And you saw the highlight, Joe. And where he's running and he just pushes dude in the face. Get off me! It was, man, like,
he's incredible.
You got to get this guy more touches. So, all right, let's wrap up just talking about that stupid game, like, as breaking down the game.
Well, I want to get into Stafford.
That's what I'm, well...
In terms of this football game.
Okay.
Because to me, if you don't mind me, Tom, just jumping right into it. Because Stafford, to me, I've been one of the biggest defenders of him. I've said he's going to win a Super Bowl with the Lions within this contract. And that game was really revealing to me because he needed to take that team on his shoulders at home and lead them to, it's not a phenomenal defense they were going up against, okay?
Yeah,
he has all the weapons in the
Legion
world.
Of Boom.
You have all the weapons in the world. You have all this receiving core. You have this offensive line. You have a running back now. He needs to put this team on his shoulders and get a win. And go get a win at home in pretty much a must-win game.
He's missing passes.
And he goes and he's running around. He fumbles the ball with not even really being touched. They drive down the field. He throws a horrible interception on the goal line.
It's like he didn't even. It's like dude was a ghost, man. Like he didn't even see the. I forget who it was who made the pick, but dude who made the pick, like he threw it right in his hands.
Like it's come to the point now. Like I always thought he was going to take that next level and to be maybe not as good as Aaron Rodgers, but kind of right there with him and constantly competing with him as being one of the top quarterbacks in the league. And now you're kind of looking at it, and it's like, man, maybe he's closer to like an Alex Smith type.
Hey, man,
or he's just going to be a guy that's just kind of mediocre, but never take you over the top. Get you to 9 to 10 wins at the most, and never get you over the top.
I don't know if you know this, but something that worries me about Stafford, he grew up with Kershaw, man. Did you know that? They were friends.
I've heard about that.
What if there's some? I
didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't hear?
No.
So you're saying the Lions are going to go to 2 Super Bowls? Is that what you're telling me right now?
And lose? I mean, I would take that. I guess.
I would take it this year because I'd win money.
Of course, you take that.
But no, I don't know, man. It's like man, he comes in, he gets rocked 2 times. Like people are all mad at him now, but he's been.
But no,
really,
Dan,
really
you are
great.
right. I did expect Stafford to take the next step this year, and it seems like he's regressing almost a little bit.
Well, is he?
And he has the same. It's not like he has a new offensive coordinator. It's the same guy.
They kept him specifically for him,
so he would progress and maybe be, like you said, up to Aaron Rodgers' par.
Well, is perhaps he's lionized?
He sounds like it. He sounds like in his interviews because he's just like, we just gotta, play better, and it's like, well, you gotta play better, like you can't just say we have to. You gotta do it.
How are you gonna do it?
I would love to have heard him go to the podium and say, "This is on me. I had a terrible football game. It's not going to happen again. I'm going to put this team on my shoulders, and we're going to make a run."
He can't say that.
Why?
Well, I mean,
Aaron Rodgers does. Aaron Rodgers went and did it. He went and gave the RELAX.
But Aaron Rodgers does it.
Exactly.
And he has a history of doing it. So he can go out. He can say RELAX. And then he went out and proved it. Stafford.
So when is Stafford going to do that? When is he going to do it?
It's not his nature. Well, he can't go out there and say, I had a bad game. It's never going to happen again.
He doesn't have to say it's never going to happen again, but still take responsibility for it.
No, I get they have a little fire. But
he has no fire.
Show that you're pissed off with your own performance.
Do you need to do that in the media, though?
Yes. You show it somewhere.
You
showed it. Wow.
If you're that pissed off, you are going to show it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to hide it in front of the media. If you're that pissed at how you played and you need to play better because you want to win, you're going to show it. You're not just going to come out there and be like,
that anger and that fire should carry over throughout the entire day, and that includes the post-game press conference. There's no fire there.
Maybe that's what the PR people at Ford they don't want a fiery guy because they're trying to sell trucks. They don't want some angry quarterback. They want a leader.
They want a leader.
Yeah, the difference between being angry and saying bad stuff than just being pissed off that you played bad.
Should he go up there and beat Tim Tebow and But the promise,
he's not showing it on the field. He's not showing it off the field, and it's to a point that it's frustrating.
He looked pretty good last Sunday. He looked pretty good a few times.
Yeah, when they ran the ball for 250
everybody's talking about the passer rating being over 100.
Yeah, he was efficient. I talked about last week how efficient he is when he has a running game, when he has 250 rushing yards. Yeah,
he can't go out and win you a game.
But you can't put the team on his shoulders like other quarterbacks can.
And
that's what he's getting paid to do.
He has a track record.
If he can't do it now, where he should be in his prime, he's never going to do it.
Is this his prime?
He's 30 years old. He's been in the league for, 9-10 years?
Yeah.
He started as, 2021?
I mean, what if he's starting to regress?
He might be.
But
that's the point. That's the whole point I'm trying to get across here.
Man, and that's scary, man.
You can't trade him. We talked about. You can't just sit here and say that Stafford's the constant. Stafford's the constant. They're always going to have Stafford there. But he's not taking them to the next level.
Man, the defense did not play well. They did not play well on Sunday.
Yeah, they need to put up more than 14 points to win a game.
They still only put. I mean, 28 points is a lot. But in relatively, when you have an offense like this and you're paying a quarterback top 5 in the league to be a top 5 quarterback, you should be able to score 28 points at home.
Yeah.
In a must-win game.
I agree. Against a defense
especially when you scored on the first drive.
Yeah. What do we? So I don't know. I guess we're all kind of the same. Where we're just kind of frustrated, just right there in frustration zone.
SOL.
Because
that's all I can say.
SOL isn't trading Golden Tate for a third-round pick in the middle of the season when you're one game back, though.
That's true.
But the game we saw, the Seattle, that is once again SOL.
Yeah, winning the games that you should.
This whole ones exactly.
Okay, so at the same point, we kind of mentioned it. It's also not SOL to trade a 5th-round pick for Snacks Harrison.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, and I wrote an article earlier today, kind of addressing the trade deadline. I thought the Lions won the trade deadline, or were winners the trade deadline, because of what they did. Just from an outside looking in terms of the totality of what they did. Okay, they went out, they traded a 5th-round pick in 8 games or 9 games of Golden Tate because they weren't going to re-sign him, right?
Yeah.
So 9 games of Golden Tate and a 5th-round pick. They got a 3rd-round pick and they got a defensive run stuffer, one of the best in the league, who signed for the next 2 years. I mean, that's pretty outstanding, really, in terms of what you look going forward. So in terms of what the front office did in this trade deadline, they did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. Did they, though? Because what if you could have re-signed? What if Tate just really enjoyed being here? And
he already came out and said they've been trying.
Yeah, I don't want to say the hometown discount, but he knows he's going to get a higher contract than he had.
Yeah. And do you re-sign him, though? Would it be worth it? He's over 30.
Yeah, but he looks like he's in phenomenal shape. He never really takes big hits.
Not for what he wants.
He's really good at not taking
what he wants.
Well, and
he's not going to give it.
Somebody he was really coveted because a slot receiver who gets those yards after catch is so dangerous. Mm-hmm. Somebody probably would overpay, but should it have? Yeah. It probably shouldn't be the Lions to be the one that overpays to keep their guy, then, right? Because
it's not the Patriots.
Now, are we saying that there was no chance at all of re-signing Golden Tate after this season?
I think obviously there was. I think they were talking and trying to come up with a contract. So to me, I feel like they were way off. That's why they traded him. And if that's true, then it is good to get the 3rd-round pick.
It's losing to Seattle. It's losing to Seattle the way they did. And the fact that you can get something for a guy that you're not sure if you're going to re-sign or not.
So
he said he wants a lot, and it's not going to be.
Are we tanking now? Like, should the Lions tank?
Okay, so let's take a step back, right? Okay, so the Seattle game sucked, right? Yeah. We can admit that sucked. All right,
yeah.
But if they go into Minnesota and win. All right, they're at 4-4, and as we talked about, they're only a game first, right?
And we already got one division. We're 1-0 in the division.
Yeah. Yes. So if you just look at it, right, they lost Golden Tate, but they brought in Snacks Harrison.
Yeah.
So if you just look at that,
and they lost a 5th-round pick and gained a 3rd.
Yeah, but that's down the road, right? That's next year. I'm just looking at this team right now.
Yeah. Okay.
You lost Golden Tate, but you gained Snacks Harrison. To me, that's a win.
And I'm telling you, man. We liked Powell in the preseason, man.
I like T.J. Jones, too.
Yeah. And maybe they're seeing this in practice.
And Galladay's taking over as one of the top.
Now, why?
Turning into
where was Galladay on Sunday?
Well, that's another thing.
What the heck, man?
There's a lot of things.
I'm ringing the fantasy bell, ding. I got him on my team. My choice was Galladay or Marvin Jones. Oh, and guess who was on my bench, man? Son of a gun. But, why did Galladay only get me 2 points in my fantasy league, man?
I don't know.
I mean, that's one of the things where
not?
I would have to watch the film and break down the film and see if he was getting open and he wasn't getting the
maybe
ball.
they just focused on taking him out of the game and
should have opened up other areas. It's hard to say without
because Marvin went off, and that's the thing, man. Like when Stafford and Marvin Jones connect for those big touchdowns, that usually means success. But that was the only thing that was working. Because Stafford, he did, especially on that first drive, man. He made a really nice play, a really nice throw. He made a lot of good throws, but just clutch moments, man. The bad pick and then the fumble, at pivotal times, and then errant throws on third down.
He's had a lot of bad games this year.
He has.
The Jets game was atrocious.
But that's the
this
thing.
Game was terrible. Those were home games.
But it's if you win at Minnesota, and that's the thing about this NFL, especially this season is getting wacky, man.
Well, there's two. Well, a couple of clear-cut teams, but two specifically, and it's the Rams and the Chiefs right now.
Rams and Chiefs, but
maybe even the Patriots in there too now.
6-2, man. Looking like they're just right on pace.
Starting to get in mid-season form now.
Do what they do.
Yeah. They don't start till Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it is completely wide open, especially in the NFC and especially in the NFC North. It's completely wide open.
Minnesota doesn't. I mean, they're good.
I think anybody can beat anybody.
They got a lot of injuries, and you look at Green Bay. They went and traded Clinton Dix and Ty Montgomery today.
Yeah. Well, Ty Montgomery, man.
Oh, he kind of.
You guys want to talk about that for a second?
You knew that was going to happen.
And then, as a coach, man, and as we've played in sports growing up, man. How when you apparently he blatantly disobeyed Mike McCarthy. When McCarthy went up to him and said, "Take a knee, knee it down, do not run this ball out of the end zone, no matter what." It's pretty much what he said, and Montgomery's like, "Nah."
I see a hole. That's all I could have scored.
I'm going, man. I'm going. I got. Oh, censor myself, man, because that must have been what he was thinking. Oh man, this ball just popped out. This is bad.
And then he's trying to dig a hole in the ground right there.
Oh, he's just sitting. I remember I was watching the game and he's just on that, that lone, cold, lonely bench where nobody's sitting next to you, and then the camera's on, and then the one guy comes up, pats him on the head, but he's just eyes just straight forward, like he's somewhere a million miles away.
I'm cut.
Because he's about to be a million miles away.
My life is about to change dramatically because of what I just did. And though, he could have got traded to Buffalo, man. He got traded to Baltimore, which, I mean,
they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, man. That's
good.
a pretty good. They're right in the thick of things, man. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting.
But back to the point, it's okay, it's Green Bay.
Green Bay, they're making trade. They're not even sure where they're at.
I think anybody can beat anybody at any time.
Yeah,
in our division
right now. Yeah,
no team looks like they're gonna kill anybody.
Then why trade Golden Tate then?
Because, like you said, we weren't going to sign him to get something for him. You see the Patriots do that all the time. They'll be like, why did they trade this Pro Bowler?
Philly is 4-4, and then the NFC East is all crazy, man. And they already just won the Super Bowl, so what they're making they made the trade. They're like, okay, we're going to make our team better, and they're, I guess, record-wise and division-wise, they're kind of in a similar situation than the Lions.
Other than that they just won the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm saying this year, man.
That's a little different.
So that's what I guess that even brings it more to my point, though, Joe, is even though they won the Super Bowl, they climbed the mountain, and they're still trying to get better this year. They're trying to get better right now.
Because they know that they have the talent. And maybe if they think they can add another wide receiver, they can win it again. I mean, like I said, I don't think we're going to win the Super Bowl.
So the Lions don't. You think their front office doesn't think that they're
going to win
good
the Super
enough
Bowl
to they?
Not win the Super Bowl, no.
So they're building. So
they're probably thinking towards the future. And like I said, you see the Patriots do that all the time. They'll be like, some Pro Bowler will be traded at the end of his contract, and you'll be like, why did they trade him?
The Patriots were also trade like what did they trade? Like a 4th, 5th round pick for Randy Moss and rejuvenated one of the greatest wide receivers of all
Exactly.
time.
So they'll find those.
So they'll do that stuff too. So is it
or a 5th round pick? Not
so they
for
did a little
early
bit
pick.
of. Did they do a little bit of both this trade deadline then?
Yeah,
a move for the future and a move for today.
Yeah, they did. I guess a little bit. Of both.
So is this team better today than they were 2 weeks ago or a week ago?
I don't know. Probably pretty close. I don't know if. I mean, like Dan really likes them. He thinks they're significantly better, but I think just a little bit because that was their biggest weakness is stopping the run, and then we do have other wide receivers waiting in the wing that maybe
That's going to be interesting.
Could be good slot receivers. So maybe a little bit better.
I just think the difference between Golden Tate and the guys that are going to step up in that position compared to Snacks Harrison stepping into the defense tackle and who's behind him, it's a lot bigger difference.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know. Like you said, Golden Tate's led the league in yards after the catch, which he's good at getting open. You know, he's a good wide receiver, so he's going to be missed for sure.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. They're going to miss him.
Especially Stafford. I mean, Stafford's going to miss him because he's kind of the guy that gets open on those short little routes and then hits them quick.
I will say this: Golden Tate's one of my favorite Lion players, but I think he's dropped back a step or two this year. I mean, he's dropped more passes than you kind of seen in the past.
I've noticed that.
Doesn't seem to be making as many big plays as he has in the past.
He's
still right there. I mean, he's still pretty
making
consistent.
Plays, man.
But you just can kind of see it starting. The regression's starting a little bit with him, and as he gets older, it's just going to start being more and more. So I just think that's a guy,
receiver,
it's a guy
man.
you don't sign long term. If you're not going to sign him long term, then
might as well get some.
I'm not totally against them going out and getting what you can get.
And I'm not either.
And I'm glad they got, like you said, a 4th round pick. I might have kept them.
Yeah.
But a 3rd round pick, that's a solid pick.
It is. It really is.
That was what Kenny Golladay was.
Yeah.
You know.
And guess what, man? You can move that pick on draft day. You know,
and move up if you want to. Maybe there's a guy in the first round you want to go get.
Yeah.
Package 2, because we got their pick and now we still have Arthur. I think we have like 11 picks in next year's draft, something like that.
I'm not sure.
Far
ahead.
We're up there, man, and so I don't know. I'm not jumping ship. There's a lot of people, man. Social media was obviously crazy about it. The whole trade deadline and just the Lions losing, there's a lot of anger, and I think a lot of people are really mad about them losing to Seattle, and then I think a lot of people got extra mad when they traded Golden Tate because they felt like they were throwing it until like it was over. The season's over. Same old Lions. So, but I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, I did see a same old Lions loss. I sure did.
Sad part is they're going to win this weekend.
They're probably, man. They're probably going to go into Minnesota and mud stomp them, man.
I don't know, mud stomp.
I'm going to say I'm not predicting that.
I can see them winning.
But I'm just saying that would be something they would do.
I know.
And just play great defense because the Lions and Vikings have been pretty on par with each other. Like they played like some pretty strong defensive battles lately, for a while now, and. I don't know. I could just see it. Yeah, now things change. And what if one of these young guys steps up? Because being a slot receiver, it's like the number 3 guy, man. So there's just there's a different number 3 guy that steps in, and hopefully something works out, man. We'll see. Because if one of these, if Powell or T.J. Jones, and I think it's going to be T.J. Jones. He's probably going to step right in there.
Yeah,
I would be surprised to see Riddick get a little more playing time now too.
Is he coming back? Is he fully healthy?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's fully healthy.
I don't even.
If he comes back, I would see him being focal point.
And maybe we'll start seeing more Kerryon Johnson out of the backfield, or What if you? I don't know if
you could have him line up in slot.
I was going to say have Kerryon line up in the slot and put
even
Riddick
would be good in the slot.
Riddick can line up in the Riddick does line up in the slot sometimes.
No, but I mean he could do a little bit more.
But especially in some shit. Starts off in the backfield and kind of shifts over.
Yeah, because he's good just like Tate, getting open those quick little outs.
He's one of the best in the league. Is like
receiving running back.
What are they, like a scat back maybe? He's almost like a hybrid of a running back and a slot receiver.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see, man. Because look, you don't want to count everything out again, man. But that's the life of a Lions fan. This is where we're at. And is it?
You're always in it until you're mathematically out of it.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
So let's get into it. Are they going to beat Minnesota? Let's give
Are they going to beat?
predictions.
Well, before we, that's what I'm saying, man. So this is where it's at. I want to, as being a Lions fan, the hardest thing in sports, and because it coincides with this, are they going to go into Minnesota? Do they have a chance? And if they do go in there, what about next week? Like this team.
Rollercoaster, buddy.
Yeah,
get on.
I don't know, man. I think being a Lions fan is the toughest thing in sports, and I think they're. I have no idea. I can honestly say this. I have no idea.
You know what I've been doing?
I have no idea if they're going to go into Minnesota.
It's picking the complete opposite of what I think. This last game, I'm like, you just kind of, I don't know. Like I said, anybody can beat anybody, so you kind of just gotta guess. I mean, really, you don't know what they are. How can you say?
It's impossible.
How can you say you know what they're going to do? You don't, because they will. They'll go in. They'll play the worst game and the best game. We've seen so many horrible games and so many good games.
On the road one week, run for 50 yards at home the next.
Nobody knows what they're going to do. It's just a guess. It really is.
And why is it like it's so weird? Like the names and the faces change, but it all remains the same. Oh man,
yeah, I know.
How is that possible for a franchise to consistently do the same thing and like kind of be good and then bad, and then something bad happens, and then they pull you in and you just get crushed in the worst possible way as a fan? I don't understand how it can just keep going on and on and on, year after year. And here we are once again in the middle of another season, and with all the highs and lows are so extreme. Just this season, you don't know. But here you are, right in so you can't just jump ship. You can't be like, I'm done. I'm fine. I'm done. I'm not watching another game. I don't want to talk about them anymore. No, because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna go into Minnesota and they're gonna beat them. And then it's going to be a freaking parade downward because
we're good again. We're going to win the division.
Bob Quinn is a genius.
Whoever does good, that was a great pick.
Yeah.
Galladay's going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Chiefs Tabor makes some pick at the end, runs a pick six. But it's like all in slow motion because he's so slow. But he gets the pick six. Man, everybody was down on Tabor, but I was the one. You got the sports talk guy. I called in back in August, and I said, "Tease Tabor
is the man." He's not just a guy. He's not a dude. He's a guy.
Yeah. That's. What are you gonna do, man?
So what are you picking? Are you picking the Vikings? Are you picking the Lions to beat the Vikings then?
No, I'm not. I think they'll keep it close, but I think Minnesota will win this game, and things are just gonna. I don't think things will snowball, but it's gonna be because they're probably gonna lose, and it's gonna be bad. The record's gonna be bad, and then this division everybody's gonna beat each other up. So they'll still just be, I think,
hanging in there.
Just be hanging around and hanging around like rounders. And I think that's just what it's going to be. I think they're going to win a couple games. They're going to lose the big ones. They're going to keep us hanging on. And they're going to keep kicking us right in the nuts, man. So yeah, I think they lose. You know what? And it'll probably be some fluke play. They'll probably lose. I just have visions of the game where the Lions tied it up, and you were all excited. But,
that Muehlbach blew the snap.
That Muehlbach blew the snap.
It ended Harrington. That was Harrington's lionized moment.
Yeah, that was
realized he'll never win with the Lions. Got them back. They were down 2 touchdowns with 7 minutes left. Harrington drove them down twice for touchdowns. and it's 28-27. They're all celebrating on the sideline. And I remember I was watching the game with Dad, and I'm like, Dad, they still got to make the extra point. I don't know why I said that, because that was, when it was automatic, it was just from the 3-yard line. And I'm like, Dad, they still got to make the extra point. And sure enough, Don Muhlbach blows the snap, and they miss it, and they lose 28-27. It blows any chance they had at the playoffs, and pretty much blew Harrington's career. He knew at that point he was never going to win. It was like when Calvin Johnson, you've seen that gif where he's just dropping when Rodgers throws a Hail Mary. And he just throws his cap and just kind of drops.
Yeah.
It's that same moment for Harrington. We're like, I'm just never going to win here. Like, no matter what I do, I can't defeat this curse of the Detroit Lions. I'm never going to win here. So I need to just leave. That's what basically Harrington did, and that's basically what Calvin Johnson did. He just retired.
Yeah.
Not to rehash old horrible Lions stories.
Dude, I'm telling you that I feel like that's probably going to happen. I think that's what's going to happen this Sunday, man.
It's going to be a roller coaster all within one game.
Yeah, it's a synopsis of the whole season, the whole life of a Lions fan. It's going to happen in Minnesota, and then they'll probably come back and win the next week. So that's what it's going to be. I think this team's going to. I picked them 10-6. I can't in my right mind stick with it anymore after what I saw on Sunday. But shake up here, what a big shake up this is. So I mean, we'll see, man. I don't know, man. It's just so.
It is frustrating. It's very frustrating because you don't know what you're going to see. You don't know what,
and you just want them to win. You just want to believe, because when it does finally happen, man, when the Lions.
Well, you know what? I think they're going to win.
Really?
I think they're going to go there and do what the Lions do.
Really?
Yes. And I think they're going to win 20-17. It's going to be a low, because I think Snacks is going to stuff the line, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is that good of a quarterback. I think he needs a running game to win as well. And I think the Lions have pretty good passing coverage. So I'm going to give the Lions a win, because they're going to do what we don't think they're going to do, and they're going to go down and beat the Vikings.
I got them winning too.
Yeah.
They're going to bring
this is bizarro.
They're going to bring everybody back on the bandwagon again. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna win a crazy game. Prater will get some last-second field goal led by a Stafford. Stafford was horrible last week. Everybody's talking about
at the end of the
game. Stat Padford last week, and then he's going to lead a winning drive this week. And Prater's going to hit the game-winning field goal because he's due. He hasn't done that in a while. And they're going to win some crazy game in Minnesota, and everybody's going to be like right back on it. And they're going to say, why did they trade Golden Tate? Because they're going to be right there for the division title.
Well, what if they play a really great game and it's all something crazy happens at the end, and it's T.J. Jones goes for like 10 catches, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner.
But they lose? Oh,
no, I'm saying they win.
Oh,
okay. Do people immediately
Golden Tate who?
Silver what? What was his name? Silver something? like DJ Jones. DJ Jones. Yeah, DJ Jones. Man, we got
people
the best
will forget easy quickly.
Yeah, we got the best slot receiver in the league and a 3rd round pick. Bob Quinn is a genius. Oh man,
until the next week.
Yeah.
When he drops the key pass.
Yeah. That's just how it is. That's how it is to be a Lions fan.
But I think one of these guys, man, I would like to see what it is, because they both have. We've seen them like in preseason and in flash. Well, T.J. Jones in flashes.
Yeah.
And Powell in the preseason, man, he looked kind of exciting, man. The kid caught everything that was thrown to him, man. So maybe they know something we don't, and one of these guys is going to step up. We're going to find out Sunday, because somebody's going to have to. I mean, you're going to got Galladay and Jones, and
they might start thinking that Tate was their 3rd wide receiver, and they might have evaluated him as their 3rd wide receiver. So they're like, wait, we can get a 3rd pick for him.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly what they did. But you better have somebody that's solid that can step up and do the job.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see.
Especially if they do beat Minnesota. Because if they do beat Minnesota, just like you said, oh man, now we're right in the thick of the division race, and you trade away one of your best assets. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see.
So there we are, though. Here we are, man. Lions
Frustrated like
fans.
normal as a
Frustrated,
Lions fan.
confused, kind of excited. Let's move on. Let's talk about some college football. Big news today. The official playoff rankings came out. Michigan checks in at number 5. This is very exciting for
Yeah, it
Michigan.
would be better if they were 4, but still pretty exciting.
They're going to be 4 after next week.
One of these teams,
That's true.
Alabama or
That's
LSU
true,
is going to lose.
if they win.
Well, yeah.
Well, if you're a Lions fan, root for Alabama. I mean, if you're a Michigan Lions fan, if you're a Michigan fan, root for Alabama.
Yeah.
Because if LSU wins, then that really throws things up in the air. But
Aren't they favored by a lot on the road?
Is that Tiger State? Bama's favored.
I feel like they're favored on the road by a lot.
by a decent amount, man.
But this is the big college football Saturday.
Yeah.
Because you got Michigan at 3:45, and then you got Alabama LSU at 8. And both those games are obviously the Michigan Penn State game is huge for around here. But the Alabama LSU game is going to have huge impact on the college football playoff, which obviously impacts Michigan as well. So it's a huge back-to-back game, doubleheader, which I can't wait for. This is what you've been waiting for all year, really, in terms of college football. Now it's the real big time top 10 football games now.
Let's say Michigan wins, Notre Dame wins, Clemson wins. Michigan, Notre Dame, Clemson, LSU all win. Bama loses. Does Bama drop to 4?
Drop to 4, I think.
So just Michigan would have to stay at 5 because
so.
LSU would be number 1. Or
no,
they wouldn't jump Clemson, beating Alabama.
Clemson's undefeated. So is Notre Dame. So is Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's true.
It'd be Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, Alabama, Michigan. That's how I would rank them.
But if you're already,
I mean, unless Alabama got smoked.
Yeah, but Michigan lost to Notre Dame. If they're second,
I mean, it depends how the game goes.
Yeah, so maybe. Wow, see that
would be an interesting call.
Real tricky, man.
That would be an interesting call because even though they do have a loss, it'd be still to a better team than Alabama if they're second. And
yeah, I mean, you're splitting hairs, though.
Yeah.
You really are. But splitting hairs is the difference between being in the playoffs and not being in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you got that same conversation that when it was Ohio State and Bama were jockeying for the 4th and 5th.
If you're a Michigan fan, root for Alabama.
Yeah, because you want Alabama to stay the
You want Alabama to run the table.
LSU is like losing. They're with 2 losses.
The dream scenario, or the best scenario for Michigan fans, is Alabama runs the table. That includes beating LSU. That includes beating Georgia in the SEC championship game. Clemson runs the table because that eliminates anybody else. It's just Clemson. And then Notre Dame runs the table, which helps you because it gives you the best loss of probably anybody. And that's your top 4. So Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, Michigan.
Just, a couple of games in between there you got to win. But
obviously, yeah. I mean, that's clearly. I mean, Michigan doesn't make it if they lose it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, they got to run the table, including the Big Ten championship. I think obviously.
Who knows now? I mean, that's a total.
It might be a rematch against Northwestern, man.
Yeah, Northwestern and Iowa play in a couple weeks, and that's probably going to decide the West, which is crazy to me because I thought Wisconsin was so dominant going into the season.
They just weren't, though.
They're just not.
They're just not that good.
But let's get into this Michigan-Penn State game, though. This is another huge game in that the gauntlet. We talked about 6 big games for Michigan going into this season, and this is one of them.
Well, they had it's the 3 in a row. It was the Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State. Like that chunk right there was going to define their season, at least going into the game. And then 2-0 through this gauntlet. Unfortunately, the gauntlet doesn't look as rough as it did at first, and so that might hurt Michigan down the road with the Big Ten just beating each other up. But everybody knows that's what the Big Ten does. The Big Ten beats each other up. Except for Ohio State. Ohio State just runs the table. But they get snuck every once in a while. Now, who is the most dominant team in the Big Ten? Is it Michigan right now, or is it still Ohio State, even though Ohio State took that major
by Purdue?
loss?
Michigan hasn't lost a Big Ten game yet. It's Michigan. Michigan's undefeated in the Big Ten right now. So you're going to find out, though, when they play Penn State.
Yeah, but how good is Penn State?
They're still good.
They're
not
a good team.
Yeah, they're not crappy, but it's going to be a tough game.
You got them at home, and
they only lost by 3 points to Michigan State. And a last second Basically, the last second loss.
Notre Dame.
Penn
State.
And they lost to Ohio State by 1 point.
Yeah,
Basically,
the
last second loss.
Yeah.
So no, they're not a bad team. Like I think all four of those teams are pretty equal. At this point, if you look at
fairly
it,
close. Yeah.
they're fairly close with each other, which was kind of what we thought going into the year, right?
Yeah.
I think we thought maybe Ohio State might be a step or two above, but they've obviously come back to the pack, and I think all the Urban Meyer stuff kind of contributed.
Well,
to that too.
and Nick Bosa, I mean, he was
Nick Bosa
injured,
was huge.
but
Yeah, that's a great
him
point, too.
deciding to kind of quit, I bet that kind of like the team psyche. That's a big thing in college football, man. Like.
In all sports.
Like one guy doesn't affect all, but when that's your star, and he says, "Yeah, guys, I'm done, I'm out." I mean that kind of affects you. Then you just get murdered at Purdue. It's going to be very interesting to see how they come back.
Well, they play Nebraska though this week, so it's not like
Nebraska
State.
at home.
And then they go to Michigan State.
Yeah.
That's going to be a huge game.
Oh yeah.
Any time the big four in the East play each other.
What do you guys think about the spread, though, man? All right, so they got Penn State is 14 and Michigan's 5. This is off of CBS, so I'm not sure if that's the actual BCS that they have or whatever. But
the BCS or still using the BCS?
Oh, whatever, the college football playoff, yeah. CFP, sorry, BCS, CFP, BS, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so whatever, man. 10-point spread. Do you think is that fair? Like, Michigan minus 10. It's like.
I thought when Michigan was a 10-point favorite against Wisconsin, I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, me too.
I pretty much told everybody to take Wisconsin, and I was dead wrong on that.
Yeah.
I've been dead wrong on Wisconsin all year. So, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe I'm just not giving Michigan enough credit for as good as team as they are. Because I said when Wisconsin was 10-point favorite, you got to take them, and I would say take 10 points with Penn State too, because I still think Penn State's a good football team. I think Trace McSorley is a good quarterback, but like I said, maybe I'm not giving Michigan enough credit.
Michigan in big games, though.
I still need to be proven. I feel like I still need to be proven.
I think they kind of did prove themselves a little bit with beating the last two games they played.
Yeah.
Because I was a little down on them a little bit, but and I just didn't think that they would, those last two games, do what they did. So I do agree with you. They are the team to beat right now in the Big Ten because they are undefeated. And they did. Their last two games were nice, big, solid wins against good franchises or good college teams, So they are a good team. And I don't think we are giving enough credit. And I'm I'm one of the worst against it. So that is a big spread, but that's why they make so much money in Vegas, because they do know what they're doing.
What, guys?
I mean, how do you? I ask you, Tom. Like, what is your overall opinion of Michigan right now?
I'm nervous, man.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I feel. Like, I just don't feel like I've bought in completely yet. I don't know what I need to see yet. I don't even know.
Hey, God, I love Cron Hegden, man. This kid
running against those two teams was huge.
Dude, the Lion is playing a lot better than I thought they were. Even against Michigan State, man, I felt like I wasn't like, man, they are just dominant. Like, this game, we got this no matter what.
But they ran the ball.
Michigan's got this 7-7 game late in the third quarter.
Exactly. Like one, and you in the back of my, oh, there's trouble with the sound.
Something's gonna happen.
Like that's in the back of my head, man. And I feel that way going into the Penn State game, where I'm nervous, like, because there's so much on the line now. Like, it almost doesn't feel like Michigan's number 5 in the country, on the verge of the playoffs.
I mean, maybe it's just because we didn't expect it. Because I think all three of us looked before the year and said, this schedule is just too daunting.
Yeah.
It's going to be too difficult. The team's not quite there yet. It's just going to be too much for them. This isn't the year. Maybe next year when they got all these teams at home. And then things are just falling into place where all these teams. Wisconsin, we thought was going to be way better than they turned out to be. Michigan State is. We thought Brian Lewerke. I know Joe didn't think so, but Tom and I did. We thought Brian Lewerke was going to be one of the top quarterbacks in the Big Ten. And he just wasn't, and he's not. And Michigan State wasn't as good as we thought they were going to be. And Penn State, now they're playing Penn State. And Penn State's not the team we thought they were going to be. Ohio State at the end of the year is not the Ohio State we thought they were going to be. So all these teams are just not what we expected. They still might be, though, man. If
they get, there's a lot. You're right, but there's a lot of it is, though, man. A lot of it is because we know that we said we could go back and replay the show that we did before the season started, man. We said the Big Ten East was going to be a gauntlet, and it is. It's shaping up differently than we thought, maybe, but we knew it was going to be a gauntlet, and people were going to be beating each other up, man. The Big Ten as a whole people are beating each other up, man. You're seeing these things that you didn't think you would see, but there has to be respect.
That's why you got to play the games.
You play the games, and you have to respect the Big Ten. You always do, because it's not where there's just a couple dominant teams right now. It's not, it's not the 90s where it was Ohio State and Michigan every year. There's so much competition, and it's good football. But then the national pundits, especially with some of these losses, so having Wisconsin lose to BYU and having Purdue beat Ohio State the way they did when Purdue was number 2.
And then Purdue
those things are bad for
the by 10.
Yeah, those things.
The Michigan State team that just got kind of handled to some degree by Michigan.
So is the Big Ten? Is the fact that they're good enough to beat each other up? Is it hurting them? Is it hurting the Big Ten as a whole to have Purdue destroy number 2 in the country, Ohio State?
I think it is, and I think it's affecting our opinion on Michigan to really grasp what type of team they are and how good they could be or are right now because of what the Big Ten has done and what we thought they were going to be going in. I thought they were going to be the best conference in America, and they are not. They are not the best conference in America, and it's kind of shown itself through the season. So I think it is going to hurt the Big Ten, and we kind of mentioned it as we went into the segment. But if LSU does beat Alabama, and you got Alabama with 1 loss, LSU with 1 loss, and Georgia with 1 loss, that could potentially put a situation where you have 2 SEC teams getting in, and that might knock a Big Ten team out of the playoff.
You have a team over here. I've been waiting. I'm glad you brought that up. We have a 6 versus 9 matchup in the SEC.
Georgia, Kentucky.
Who the hell is Kentucky? Where did you come from? And why aren't you shooting basketballs into a hoop, man?
Yeah, I forgot. Kentucky
what is going on over here with Kentucky, man? They have Georgia at home in a 3:30 game. That place is gonna be bananas, man. What if Kentucky beats Georgia?
I'll say this: if Kentucky beats Georgia, then the winner of Alabama LSU is winning the SEC. I don't care. I'm not going to believe in Kentucky until they even if they beat Georgia. I'm still not going to believe it. I'm just not going to believe it. I'm not. I think they're going to get smoked. What is the spread in that game?
-9.
Kentucky's at home getting 9.
Oh, jeez. So, that kind of tells you right there.
Yeah. What is it? It tells you right there because nobody can believe it.
Nobody knows what the hell Kentucky's doing.
But that's what it is, man. Man. But what they've done, man.
But that just goes to show.
They beat Mississippi State, who was ranked 14th at the time, 27. They beat South Carolina. They lost in overtime to Texas A&M. That's their only loss. They beat Vanderbilt 14-7.
They beat Florida, didn't they?
They beat Missouri 15-14. Yeah, they beat Florida 27-16.
Central Michigan.
Yeah, they beat Central.
Florida's their big win.
That was at Florida. That was in the swamp, 25. Man. That's no easy feat, man. But they beat Florida. They beat Mississippi State, South Carolina. These are good teams, man. They lost in overtime at Texas A&M. That's respectable. And then they come back. They win 14. So they're squeaking out a lot of these games, man. They've only lost 1. That's a legit loss. But let's see what they do, man. And these guys, and look who they have left. If they beat Georgia, they're at Tennessee, home against Middle Tennessee, and at Louisville. Oh, so these guys, if they beat Georgia, they're probably going to run the table.
Till the SEC championship.
What the hell? Well, yeah. So, what the hell do you do with these guys, man?
Yeah, but, that's just another huge game. This is a huge Saturday. College football. Last Saturday was kind of light, but this Saturday is huge.
It's going to be fun, man. There's so many of them. Iowa, Purdue. Iowa's got to go to Purdue. Iowa's 16th in the country. That's going to be to see if Purdue can bounce back. Man, oh man, you run through the schedule. West Virginia versus Texas lost. They had a tough loss. But West Virginia, Texas is going to be a big one. Well, really, a lot of good games. This Alabama, LSU, man, it's going to be very telling, man, to see how it goes. If it's an ultimate classic and LSU pulls it out,
That hurts the Big Ten.
It hurts. It hurts.
Really
It hurts a
the Big
lot.
Ten.
But because Alabama would definitely. I mean, would you even just? The furthest you could put Alabama back is 4, right?
In my opinion, yeah. Especially if it's a close game. Which really hurts the Big Ten, because if Alabama runs the table, LSU runs the table, LSU goes to the SEC championship game, and Alabama's sitting there with 1 loss to LSU at LSU. You got to put Alabama in the playoff. And then does that eliminate a Big Ten team from going in? Because the winner of the SEC championship is going to get in. Right? They got to. So, and Alabama would have to get in. So that's 2 SEC teams.
Yeah.
And then Notre Dame and Clemson.
Well, I mean, there was some... Alabama and
who does Notre Dame
Alabama
play?
did the year that Ohio
Not
State.
really. I mean, USC's down this year. That would be their tough game.
The year that it was Ohio State versus Alabama, and they let Ohio State in, and they ended up running the championship.
But even if Notre Dame lost,
TCU that year. But that was, the Big 12 got hurt that year because they didn't have a conference championship game. That's how Ohio State got in, and that was the year they beat Wisconsin like 48-0 or whatever it was in the Big Ten championship game, while the Big 12 champion was not playing.
Yeah,
because there was no Big 12 championship game. So that's how Ohio State got in that year. But that's not the scenario that's going to happen this year. I mean, if LSU wins, I'm telling you it's a huge blow to the Big Ten, and potentially a huge blow to Michigan. So you're rooting for Alabama after Michigan beats Penn State.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Because Notre Dame would have to lose 2 games.
Because Bama...
Yeah, Notre Dame, yeah.
And Bama...
Michigan's not
there's going to be a
Dame.
scenario where Bama might not get to play in their SEC championship game. And if Michigan beats...
That's all Alabama got in last year.
If Michigan runs... I don't know, man. I think if Michigan runs the table and...
They play that extra game?
They play the championship and they dominate the championship game. I don't see how you can keep them out. Especially if Notre Dame's in.
Yeah, because if Notre Dame's number 2 or number 1... They beat a number 2 or number 1, or they lost to a number 2 or number 1, and Alabama lost to number 3. I know it's split hairs, like you said.
It's going to be. But that's the beauty of. Isn't that the beauty of college football? Where
not that.
Not really.
Not that.
No,
not
I
really.
know.
If Michigan gets locked out,
no,
it's their first game on the road, and then run the table the rest of the year.
Listen, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that the beauty of college football in this playoff.
But there's so many
I think exactly.
Yeah.
Like so. It's so much fun because you're sitting here talking about how important these games are in late October and going into early November, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun to watch. This Saturday is going to be huge, and it's probably going to be wild, man. You're probably going to see great ending, great football games, so much on the line. It's going to be so much fun to watch. So it makes you wonder, like, the big argument was, if you bring in a playoff, it's going to ruin the importance of the regular season, which is so important. I think it's
moving
pretty
it to 4 hasn't. If they move it to like 8 or 16, then that will.
See, I think I would like to see maybe 6, 8. I would like 8. Like 8 would be cool.
Like I don't know.
Well, it's not wild cards. It's the 2 spots. It's those 2 hanging spots, man. Where you had a great season. You lost 1 game by like a fluke.
1 and 2, you get a bye,
and you didn't get to play in your conference game, but you're one of the best teams in America. So then you get the 5 or 6 spot.
Well, you're talking about 6, then you're going to have 2 teams with byes.
And the top two teams.
Oh, then how do you decide that? That's
just like you decide the same way you decided the committee vote.
Whoever's 1 and 2, 1 and 2 get a bye.
That's insane.
Then the argument should be for 8. Then I think 8's especially
too much.
at the end of this season, I bet you will find that there were 8 teams worthy of playing in a playoff for the national championship. I bet an argument can be made for 8 to 9 teams that are worthy of playing for that ring in a playoff scenario. So I would like to go to 8. That's where I stand. But I wouldn't want to stop it at that.
I don't want it to be 8.
So do you think there should be a playoff at all? So you like the 4?
Well, my scenario, which is never, ever, ever, ever going to happen. But it's the dream scenario where you just have 4 conferences of 20 teams.
Oh yeah, that would make sense.
You have conference each division. You have each conference has 2 divisions.
Yep.
Each division has 10 teams. You win your division. You go to the conference championship game. The conference championships.
Yeah, it's just a big bracket.
There's
basically
4 conference championships, so you have a conference championship week of 4 conference championships. That's basically your first round of the playoffs. You essentially have an 18 playoff at that point. But the only way you get in is first you got to win your division, and then you get in. You get into the playoff if you win your division.
No, that makes sense.
And it's an 18 playoff.
But
it'll never happen because there's too much money and the ADs and presidents and this who drops down to the subdivision and this and that and the other. Who's going to go to the? You got to mix up to 4 conferences. You got to eliminate a comp. It will never ever happen. But that is the perfect playoff system.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I think it should be 6 because you can do 5 conferences and then get a wild card.
What do you do with Central Florida?
But then you got.
What do you do with Central Florida?
To me, that's too
undefeated, man.
It's just too much of an advantage for the 2 teams that get a bye. No. And then how do you figure that out?
I'm saying this season.
How do you figure out who the top 2 teams are?
Just how.
If Central Florida goes undefeated again, what do you do with them? Do they not deserve a playoff?
See, that's why I think you need a wild card
like
that for a team. That's why I think you need 6.
Okay, so Joe, in your scenario,
yeah,
I don't want to go down this route, but we're going it, so let's do it.
Welcome to the rabbit hole.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So if you do a 16 playoff, right, and you want 5 conference winners and 1 wild card, where's Notre Dame go?
They need to join a division.
Okay, now you're getting back into my thing. Where you just
screw you, Notre Dame. Get with it.
Okay, but
and if they want to stay a wild card and have that chance of being a wild card, then you stay that wild card.
Well, and look though,
what do you do with Central Florida if they go defeated?
Just because it's 6, just because it's
you only have 1 wild card.
No, you don't have to do that.
You're saying both of them do it? You mean
the conference? The Power 5 doesn't.
Let me finish this point.
The Power 5 doesn't automatically have to get in.
Let me finish this point. That's what Joe's point was.
No,
you have 5 conference champions, and then you have 1 wild card.
Yeah.
But if the wild card, if Notre Dame and UCF are both undefeated, it's going to go to Notre Dame, right? And UCF gets screwed in that scenario.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. You don't have. It doesn't have to be 5. The 5 Power 5 conference winners automatically get.
They're going to Notre Dame would join a conference at that point.
So
they're not going to.
Then you're diminishing the regular season. You're diminishing the conference champion. So Alabama would get in, and you'd have conference champions not get in. I hate that.
With what?
I hate
8?
that. No, in his scenario, where you have 6, but it doesn't have to be conference champions.
Oh,
if you're a conference champion, you should get in.
I agree with that.
To me, that should be the point.
So you have to kick out all the other conferences. So the MAC.
Is the MAC ever going to be in the freaking top 4?
Western almost did it.
Yeah, they went undefeated, had the best year in their school history with one of the best coaches in the country. Probably will never had a season like that before. Probably will never have a season like that again. It did not get in.
But it happened. I know, but it happened.
Okay, so they have no chance.
I'm saying they were close. They were close,
but they had the best season in their school's history. It did not get in.
So the MAC is just they're so it's
go to a different division. You're never going to compete for the playoff anyway.
So it's only you have the Power 5. And then who else is allowed to get in then?
You have to figure out.
Because why is Central Florida? Because I bet Western that year could have competed with Central Florida. If they had a bowl game together.
Well, they competed with Wisconsin and lost by 10 points.
Yeah. So
so they had their chance.
So why is UFC why is UFC ranked so high and they get the privilege of their strength of schedule isn't that great?
You mean UCF?
UCF, yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Well, they proved it last year. They went out and beat Auburn, who beat Alabama.
What did Western do?
Lost to Wisconsin,
but not by much.
They lost,
but they competed, man. They competed strong.
That's why I like the wild card. So maybe one of those teams could get in, because at this scenario, like how it is now, none of them are ever going to get in.
And there's some of these
exactly. Okay, so let's take UCF. Okay, just to finish this point. Okay, UCF went undefeated last year and beat Auburn, the team that beat Alabama in the national championship. Right? They didn't get into the playoff. So if we're only going to do a 14 playoff, then what are we doing here? Then what are we doing here? I mean, this is stupid. Like you should never have a system where a team can go undefeated, not lose a single game, and not get the opportunity to play for a championship. Yeah. It is the worst. It's still, even it's better than it used to be, but it's still the worst system in all sports.
Factor in strength of schedule.
They beat Auburn
at the end of the season. Who they beat? They didn't.
So they didn't lose a single game, including they beat
to
Auburn.
a bunch of people. If they
so they didn't get a chance.
Do you think?
Auburn was
Do you
bowl
think
game,
if they?
right?
I know they beat Auburn, but do you really think if UFC?
I don't
was
know.
in the
That's why you
SEC,
prove it on the field, and they did. They got the chance to play
So
Auburn.
how do you
them.
do that then? How does Central Florida get to prove it on the field?
The only way you can do it is you have to have them in a conference. So, like in my scenario, that is a team that's in the top 25. They get entered into like the SEC or the ACC.
So who are these lucky schools who get to join this golden scenario?
That's the problem. That's the problem. It would be an 80-team system. You drop out the worst ones. He would have to figure it out. That's why I said it's never going to happen.
And plus, you can't just figure it. Would this only be for football, or are these conferences going to join forces in all sports?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said it would never happen.
Why? Okay, well, what about what is happening, man? What is happening is Michigan is sitting here at number 5. Do you think they make the playoffs right now?
I think they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
We've discussed this. I think they're going to lose to Ohio State. I still think they're going to lose to Ohio State.
Yeah,
I'm not going to change my opinion until proven otherwise. I think they beat Penn State this week. I think they run the table until they play Ohio State. I think Ohio State does the same thing. They play each other, and I think Ohio State's going to win. Close game.
Right.
Something fluky, crazy is going to happen.
Where are you at, Joe?
I'm pretty much on Dan's boat. I'm paddling it along with them. I just don't think they can beat Ohio State at Ohio State. I think they can, but I don't think they will.
I think they do.
They're going to run the table, Tom?
I'm calling it right now. They're going to run the table. They're going to meet up with Lord knows who in the Big Ten championship.
Probably going to be Alabama.
In the Big Ten. I don't know who's going to win the West, man. The wild Big Ten West. I have no idea, man. Because they're all in the thick of it, man.
Isn't it
Northwestern.
Legions and Legends or something?
God,
that was a disaster.
They did get rid of that, right?
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
That was funny. Which one's Legends?
Nobody knew. It was
Like,
so bad. What a
it's funny how things like get past the boss's desk, you know, and then like just gets trashed. It's like, we're gonna bring this back.
And it was
like,
part of the the dead time of Michigan football too, with the Hoke and Rich Rod era. So I kind of just forget that.
They were wearing the throwback jerseys and
what did this? The whole era of football was.
Devin Gardner wearing number 98 and just getting murdered on the field. Yeah, there was some dark times, man. Ooh. All right, on that note,
I can get heated with the college football debate no matter who I talk to, no matter when it is, no matter how many times we do it, because it's just the system is still so ridiculous.
It is. It's so ridiculous.
It's tough, and it's just so impossible to make a perfect system because there's too many schools.
Yeah.
And there's too many conferences. Yeah. There's too much money involved. It's just never going to be perfect.
No.
It's never going to be perfect, unfortunately. Some teams are always going to get screwed. Whether it's the little guy or a big guy, somebody's always going to get screwed.
Yeah.
So, and I just hope
it's not your team.
Michigan.
Yeah, you just hope it's not Michigan.
And it could happen. It could happen.
It could, but look, this is the one thing about the whole thing is it's going to be fun to watch, man, unless you get your heart ripped out. But there's going to be so many good games coming up. There's so much good football to watch. So as a fan of college football, if you really love college football, like it's going to be another exciting season. So the one thing that the NCAA, especially like football, there's so much wrong and so much that just doesn't make sense and just doesn't seem fair and just pisses you off. Man, it's going to be fun, man. And this is the time, man. Late October, these 3:30 games, they start the sun shining, and then right around halftime, the lights start coming in, and the wild plays, man, the double overtime pick six, you know, all this stuff's going to happen, man. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
Just to finish up our thoughts on Penn State, we can wrap this segment up and the show up, really.
Yeah.
But, like, to me, this is I'm just talking about me personally in terms of where I've been at with Michigan and where I'm at with Michigan this year. Like, this is the game that I'm settling in. Like, I'm gonna be, you know, in my chair with my big screen and watching every single play, every single second, every single, you know, little nuance of this game, because this is it right here. I mean, if they win this football game, they're not losing to Rutgers and Indiana, right? They're not.
No.
Okay?
They should.
And it's going to set up the game with Ohio State.
Yep.
And win or lose, they're either going to go to the playoffs or they're not, or they're going to go to the Big Ten championship or they're not. And they're finally going to get to that moment. But this is it right here. Like, win this football game. Go out and win this football game at home. 3:30 is going to end up being a night game in the second half.
It's a classic setting.
What you did the last 2
Michigan
weeks.
State, Penn State, like two blue bloods just going at it, man. And oh man,
Like, this is huge.
Yeah.
It's a huge football game.
and I think you're right. If they go out and really, I want to see them dominate too, man. Like,
too.
would you rather see?
I want to see like that 1997 Penn State
Yeah,
destruction.
where they who was that had the hit right on the sideline, man?
No, you don't want to see that now.
Not anymore. Not nowadays. Yeah.
No, they.
No,
I see the
But I know what
sweet
you're
hit
getting at.
yesterday.
Man, he was a
Flag.
safety.
Like it's like we need a moment, like to just put a stamp on what this Michigan team is, you know. And whether it's just a destruction win or it's some crazy comeback or some crazy play, like they need like something to just put a stamp on what this team is and what this season is and who this team is about. You know, like I need something. I don't know what it is, but just to completely buy in.
I think just a win, a solid looking win.
Yeah.
Like no dumb penalties. Like be innovative on offense. Don't be vanilla. You know, don't have the defense be ferocious. I want to see Chase Winovich lose his damn mind, man. I want 3 sacks out of Winovich. You know, I want to see Rashawn Gary play. Like, how about, hey, man, let's end all the speculation of you doing a Nick Bosa. Get in there and play a damn football game and be dominant like we know you are. Now, if you're hurt, you're hurt. You know, It is what it is. But don't Nick Bosa on us, man, all right? Like, we need you. Let's see the team just come out there with electricity, have 110,000 people going crazy, man, and have a dominating performance because you're right, man. If LSU loses this game, everything else goes how it goes. Michigan's fourth, and then
they control their own destiny at that point.
I'm all excited now, man. I
can't wait for Saturday.
I know, man. I can't wait. Showdown Saturday, baby. We'll be back next Tuesday. Well,
what about our predictions, real quick?
We're predictions for the.
Well, we all predicted. We didn't get scores, but we all.
Yeah, I think Michigan's going to win, man. I think Michigan's going to win. I think it's going to be.
I agree.
I want to see a classic. I do. I'm rooting for. I think Michigan's going to win. I'm hoping for a classic. I don't want to just see a blowout. I mean, a blowout will be fun.
If it's at Michigan, one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me clarify. A Michigan blowout would be a lot of fun, but I want to see an October thriller, man. I want to see a classic.
I don't mind seeing blowout if Michigan's blowing them out. I'm fine with that. I don't want to see them hanging around and having a chance till the end of the game because I want to see Michigan be a dominant team, especially against a good team. And we did see that against Michigan State. They're okay. And we did see that against Wisconsin. They're not really that good, but they still blew them out of the water. So I would like to see them do it against Penn State. And if they do and they blow them out, they definitely have a chance to beat Ohio State. I think Michigan will win the game, though. I definitely do. I think their defense is just too good, and we started seeing a little bit more out of Shea Patterson, him actually running the ball, holding on to it, and getting some yardage.
What a weapon that is, man!
Yeah.
When they run those that option and well, they had it by last week, but there was one particular against Michigan State where he had the ball in there for so long. There was no way you didn't think he was going to take. And then, so the fake works to perfection, and he bootlegs out. And it was awesome. And he's got that. He's got the speed. He's got the athletic ability. And I think things are starting to get comfortable. And Tariq Black, man, I've been saying it all season. Back is black. Black is back is black. I don't know, but as long as that dude plays, man, I'm just waiting for him to really just explode, man. Because he's this guy who, and you've seen the flashes of it, and if he can be healthy, whew. So let's hope he plays. Let's hope Rashawn Gary plays. Let's hope the team is at full strength, and they just go there and light it up, man. But I do. I want to see Penn State come and play. And then I want to see James Franklin do something stupid at the end. he's got a track record for that now. And so that'd be great, man. Having his team's just hanging on, and then he does something dumb, and Michigan wins in a thriller.
Like play action from his own end zone or something.
Yeah. That'll be fun to see. All right, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So we all think Michigan's going to win this game?
Yep.
It's football. See, like we're in the heart of it, especially college football. Oh man, it's gonna be fun, man. We'll be back next week to talk all about it, and we might talk some Pistons and Wings next week too.
Wings won today.
Yay!
Pistons. Oh, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, and I think they lost. They were down by 10. Either way, we may or may not talk about them next week. Don't hold your breath, especially if this weekend goes the way we want it to, man. Especially with college football. Oh, and guess what?
They lost by 3.
Oh, by 3?
Yeah, to Boston.
Hey, at least they didn't get blown out. It's not bad on the road. Detroit basketball. All right. Keep your TVs on because there's going to be some good football this weekend, and we are going to talk all about it next week. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Detroit Sports Sit Down. Peace.